Later that evening, Ain got on the phone to one of his distant cousins. Jack O'Connolly still lived at a clan compound up in Maine. He also knew a lot of arcane and virtually useless information about lineage and other clans, in addition to his wealth of practical shapeshifter knowledge. "Hey, Andreas!" Jocko still spoke with a Scottish brogue. "How ye be? Haven't heard from ye in a long time. Congratulations are in order, so the rumor mill flows."
"Doing good. And yes, thank you. Have a question for you."
"Anything. Shoot."
"Out of curiosity, what might be involved that gives a non-shifter mate the ability to hear her mate's thoughts a long distance away? Over a quarter mile away when she tunes in and deliberately pays attention. And to project that far."
There was a brief moment of stunned silence. "Really? You don't say?"
"Do you think it's because we're triplet alphas?"
"I don't know, boyo. Could be. You're the only triplets, you know that. And you're all alphas. There's stuff that might apply to ye that applies to no one else."
"That's no help. Any other ideas?"
"Well, I've heard of cases where a half-shifter mate's had that kind of ability. But I take it she's not."
Ain thought about it. "No. She would know if she was, right?"
"Well, you'd think, laddie. I mean, that's not the kind of family secret that gets held back in our kind."
"She was totally shocked to find out what we were. I'd say that's a pretty safe no."
"Ah, well, maybe she's got distant shifter line in her background. That's always a possibility. What's her name?"
"Elaine Pardee."
Pardee. That sounds familiar. Where's she from?" Ain felt a pang of guilt that he still didn't know.
"I think she grew up in Tampa."
"Let me think on that while I do some digging. I'll get back to ye."
"Thanks."
Ain tried to shove away the feeling of disquiet in his gut. Elaine couldn't be half-shifter. She'd know it. Besides, there's no way her clan would let her come of age, much less mate, without telling her what she was first. That couldn't be the answer. Most of the clans, including their own, didn't care who their members mated with. Except for the troublemaking Abernathy clan. They tightly held on to their alpha shifters and carefully controlled who they met after they came of age, until they pinged on a mate. If they didn't ping on one of their own clan, the mating and marking had to be approved before it could take place, usually with a large dowry involved. The Abernathys were, if nothing else, efficiently greedy bastards. Only alpha shifters had to mate with their one. Problem was, most of the new Abernathy shifters weren't alphas because their bloodlines had become too inbred. Any shifter not an alpha could mate to anyone,